Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah, we are going to study a new lesson which is value and place value for decimal numbers. So first of all, let's remember the value and place value regarding the whole numbers. When I have a whole number, 523. So the 3, its position is units, and the 2 is tenths, and the 5 is hundreds. And we call this a whole number. As we studied in the decimal, we put the whole number to the left of the decimal point, and then to the right we put the decimal number. So this means I have new places with new names. We studied the first name, which is tenth. When we studied that, I have 3 parts out of 10 parts. So if the one whole is divided into 10 parts, so this place is called tenth. When it's divided into 100 parts, this place is called hundredth. When it's divided into 1,000 parts, we call it thousandth with the th. So these are the new names or the new place values for the decimal number to the right of the decimal. So this means that I have 9 parts out of 10 parts. 8 parts out of 100 parts, and 4 parts out of 1,000 parts. So the decimal point is in the middle, separating between the whole number section and the decimal or fractional section. So these are the place values. So if I ask you find the place value of number 4, you would tell me that it's thousandth. Why? Because I'm speaking with respect to the decimal point. The decimal point separates the number. It tells me that to the right, you have parts of a whole. To the left, you have one whole, or according to the number you have to the left. So what if I ask you find the value of number 3, for example? So it's just simply 3, because the 3 in the position of units, it does not include zeros. So it's just simply 3 units. So when I ask you find the value of number 2, okay, I will say that 2 in the place of tens, so it means it has 1 0, which is 20. Or by other way, I just insert 2 under the 2 and then put all the rest with zeros. And then we have the value of 5 is just simply 500, because it's in the place of hundreds. So I have either write 500 or just insert the 5 under the 5 and write zeros below other numbers to the right. So what about the decimal? I will write the 4 under the 4 and then write zeros for the rest of the numbers. But something very important here is that I have to assign the decimal point, because the decimal point determines for me whether this is a part of a whole or is it a whole number. I have 4 parts out of 1,000. So what is the value of 8? It's just writing 8 below the 8 and then all the rest with the zeros and put the decimal point. So it's 0.08. So also the 9 is 0.9. So putting the decimal point when expressing the value of the decimal number is very important. An important remark tells you that the tenth or 0.1 equals the 10 hundredth or 0.10 equals the 100,000th or 0.100. What does this mean? It means that the zeros to the right of the decimal does not affect the value of the number, like exactly the zeros to the left of the whole numbers. So a decimal point is like the mirror. So you have what you have in the left is just reflected to the right. So as exactly the zeros on the left for the whole numbers does not affect the value of the number, also the zeros to the right of the decimal does not affect the value of the number. Okay, what's the proof of that? I know that 0.1, if I want to represent this in terms of proper fraction, it's 1/10. Let's represent also the the 0.10 in terms of fractions, so it's 10 over 100, as we studied before how to transform from a decimal to a fraction. So let's also transform the third one, so it's 100 over 1000 because I have 3 places to the right. Now, can I cancel the 0 here with the 0 here? So what's left? It's left 1 over 10. It's the same of the first fraction. And here, can I cancel the 2 zeros with the 2 zeros? So what's left here? Also the same of 1 over 10. So this proves for us that whatever the zeros I have to the right, this will never affect the value of the decimal number. The same thing or application for that is the whole number basically. The whole number, we know its position is where according to decimal. It's always to the left of that decimal, which means that the decimal point is always to the right of the whole number. So any whole number means that this whole number, decimal point and then 0. It's like exactly when you say, I ate 1 pizza and nothing. So would adding this nothing affect the value of the 1 pizza you ate? No, of course not. So instead of saying I ate 1 pizza and nothing, I ate 2 chocolates and nothing. Okay, so we don't put this nothing, by the way. So we just can put it or leave it. It does not affect the value of the number. So 0.1 equals 0.10 equals 0.100, whatever the zeros you have to the right will not affect the value of the decimal number. Now let's practice. Write the value of the underlined digits, 8.708, and the digit underlined here is 7, so I have to find the value of 7. So finding the value is expressing the value in terms of numbers, not in terms of letters. So when I ask you find the value, so you have to think about the digits, about the numbers. So put the 7 below the 7 and then put the other zeros to the right and to the left. As long as we have just said that zeros to the right has no meaning in the decimal number or would never affect the value of the decimal number, so we only cares about the zeros to the left. Okay, so we will write 0.7 and we will ignore the 2 zeros to the right. Here, find the value of number 6, so I will insert 6 below the 6 and 0 to the right and to the left. And what's very important is to insert the decimal point and insert the zeros to the left to refer that we don't have whole numbers here dealing with the 6. So I will write just the zeros to the left because I have to clarify the decimal point, and I will ignore any zeros to the right. Now write the place value of the underlined digits. The underlined digit here is 0. I will count from after the decimal, I will count to the right of the decimal. This place is which place? Is the second place. So the second place is called, yes, the first one is 10th, the second is 100th, and the third is 1000. As long as I underline here the second place, so it's 100th. Now the second number is 347.999. So the underlined digit here is 4. First ask yourself whether this underlined digits to the left of the decimal or to the right of the decimal, because if it's to the left of the decimal, so I'm dealing with a whole number in which I have units, tens, and hundreds. So the first, which is to the left of the decimal, the first is 7, it's the units. The 4 is in the second, so it's tens. Now, also find here the value and place value, 18.2 for the underlined digits. So the value of 8, I will put 8, I will put the decimal point, and all the rest of the numbers are zeros. So 8.0. So the value is 8.0, and we said we can write whatever the number of zeros to the right, it will just will never affect the value of 8. It will just be as it is as 8. So 8.00 is exactly the same as 8.0 and so on. What is the place value? So here I will circle the 8. So 8 is to the left of the decimal, which is the first place to the left, which is units. The second one, the decimal separates the number into 2 sections, the whole number and the decimal. So the value of the 3 here, I will put the 3 and then 0, and then don't forget the decimal point. So it's 0.03 or 0.03. Okay, and then the place value is the second place to the right of the decimal, so it's hundredth. The third one, I will write 1 below the 1, and then zeros, and then the decimal point. Don't ever forget the decimal point. So it's 0.001. So the place value, I will circle the 1. So this one is the third place from the right. So it's tenth, hundredth, and then it's thousandth. The third place is thousandth. The next problem, so I will put 0 under the 0 or below the 0, and then zeros under all the rest, and don't forget the decimal point. So 0.00, it's all 0, so the value here is always 0. And remember that the value of 0 is always 0. What about the place value? It's the first place after the decimal point to the right, so it's tenth. Now, expanded and standard forms. So what is expanded number and standard form? If this number is the 523, expanding means I'm expanding this number, I'm writing it in details. When I tell you that I have 523 pounds, so this means that I have 500 and 20 and 3. So 500 plus 20 plus 3. So we call this the expanded form for 523. And we call the 523 is the standard or basic form of this expanded one. Another example, when dealing with the decimal, it's 2.5. So the expanding for 2.5 is what? Is 2 and 0.5. So I ate 2 pizza and half, or I ate 2 pizza and a quarter. So exactly the same. You separate between the whole number and the decimal number. So I will say 2 plus 0.5. So what else? When I have 0.345. So what is the expanded form of that number? It's 0.3 plus 0.04 plus 0.005. So what do you notice of these expanded forms for these numbers? I noticed that in each number, we wrote the value of each digit. So referring back again to the 523, we wrote 500, the 5 with the 2 zeros. Then we wrote 2 with a 1 0 beside, which means 20. So this is the value of 2. And then we write the value of 3. So in order to find the expanded form for any number, we have to deal with the values of these numbers. So we just insert the value of each digit of this number, and by this way, we can reach the expanded form. In the standard form, I'm dealing with the positions of the number or the place value. So I know that the 3 is in the units place, the 2 in the tens place, the 5 is in the hundreds place, and so on. 2.5, I know that the 2 is in the units place and the 5 is in the tenth place. So in expanded form, I'm dealing with the values of the numbers. And in the standard form, we put numbers according to the place value without zeros. And in the expanded form, we put a value of each number with zeros. Let's practice. So here, complete the following. Here, it's required to find the expanded form for the standard 3.6. So 3.6 is the standard form, and I want to expand this number. So 3.6 equals 3 plus what? So I'm going to find, as we said before, that expanded is going to be found by finding the value of the numbers we have, or the digits we have. So 3 is the whole number, so we inserted the 3 as it is, and then I'm going to find the value for the number 6 in this number, so it's 0.6. So the next question, 1.25. So I'm going to insert the whole number, and then I have 2 spaces. So I have to notice how many spaces do I have in order to decide what exactly the value I should find in this number. So here I have 2 places, so I can find the value of the 2 separate from the 5. So the value of the 2 is 0.2 and the value of the 5 is 0.05. Then the next question, 0.984. How many places do I have? I have 3 places, so I can split this number into 3 places. I have 3 dashes, so I can find the value for 9, the value for 8, and the value for number 4. So the value of 9 is 0.9, the value of 8 is 0.08, and the value of 4 here in this number is 0.004. The next question, 1 equals 0.3 plus what? So the 1 means I have one whole. I selected all parts. Now we are talking about the decimal. So the decimal tells me that the denominator is 10. So here, the 1 equals 10 over 10. Why I divided by 10? Because I have 0.3 means that I have only one place after the decimal. So only one place means the denominator is 10. So the 0.3, if I want to express it in terms of fraction, it will be 3 over 10. So now the question is 10 over 10 equals 3 over 10 plus what over 10? So we solved this before, by the way. So 3 plus what equals 10? 3 plus 7. So the next should be 7 over 10. So if I want to back again represent or transform this proper fraction into decimal form, so I would say it's 0.7. So complete the following, also find the expanded form. So I'm going to find the value for each number. So 1 equals 0.2 plus 0.5 plus what? Now I will ask myself 1 equals what? It's 10 over 10. 0.2, 2 over 10, and 0.5, it's 5 over 10. So 5 plus 2 equals 7. What's remaining for the 7 to reach the 10? So it's 0.3. The next question, 19.236. So I have here to think, how many places do I have here? I have 2 places only. So I will deal with this problem like I'm going to find the value of 19 and the value of the decimal part. So the decimal point here splits the number into 2 sections, the whole part and the decimal part. So finding the value of 19 as a whole number, it will be 19. And finding the value of 236 thousandth or 0.236 as a number, so it's 0.236. Now the next question is 157.143. Now how many places do I have here? I have 4 places. So I have to look to this number. How can I split this number into 4 places or into 4 values? So I will deal with this number this way. I will get the value of the whole number 157 and then get the value of 1, value of 4, and value of 3. So the value of 157 is simply 157. The value of 1 is 0.1, the value of 4 is 0.04, and the value of 3 is 0.003. Now the next question, it's required for me now to find the standard form back from the expanded. I have the expanded form and I want to get the standard form. So in order to get the standard form, we get use of the place value. So 7 plus 0.4. So 7 is the whole number or the units I have, and 0.4 is the decimal. So I will put the whole number to the left of the decimal and the other numbers to the right of the decimal point. So then I have only one place, so it will be the 10th. So this 4, its place value is the 10th. So I'm gonna put the 4 in the 10th place and the 7 as a whole number. So doing the same for 3 plus 0.05 plus 0.2. So I'm gonna say that this 3 is the whole number or the units place. And how many dashes do I have here? So 2 dashes, so this is 100th and this is 10th. So I'm gonna put the 2 under the 10th place and the 5 under the 100th place and the 3 in the whole number, so 3.25. The last one, 1 plus 0.2 plus 0.06 plus 0.009. The 1 in the whole number or its units. 1 dash here in the 2, so it's 10th, 2 dashes in the 6 and 3 dashes in the 9. So the 2 is the 10th place, the 6 is the 100th place, the 9 is the 1000th place. So I'm gonna insert each number in its place value. So it's 1.269. That's all. Thank you and jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.